Before the age of iron, before the kingdoms of ash and stone, there was an age unlike any other. An age when mankind had conquered the sicknesses that haunted its ancestors. An age when voices traveled across the world without messengers. When vessels of metal and fire crossed the skies. And when the heavens themselves were no longer beyond reach. They built cities that pierced the clouds. They created machines that could remember, calculate, and speak beside them. They carried the knowledge of countless generations within temples of light. They healed wounds that once meant death. They defeated enemies that had tormented humanity since the beginning of time. They believed their age would never end, but the golden age had passed. The great cities fell silent. The machines slept. The knowledge of the ancestors faded into fragments, carried by those who survived the long night. And now, thousands of years later, we tell their stories. We do not know their names. We do not understand their creations. The wonders they left behind have become mysteries. Their tools became relics. Their science became legends. Their achievements became myths. Some say they were guided by gods. Some say they had become gods themselves. But they were only mankind, our ancestors. The children of Earth, who had reached beyond the heavens. This was the age that had been golden. This was the age before the fall. And so the age of gold became legend. Before the first stone was carved, before the first city rose from the earth, there was a question, a hunger, a desire to understand. The ancients looked into the endless sky and wondered what burned beyond the darkness. They studied the movements of the stars, the rhythms of the seasons, the hidden patterns of life itself. They built monuments not only to their gods, but to their curiosity. Every temple, every library, every inscription pressed into clay was a message sent through time. We were here. We searched. We learned. But time is relentless. Kingdoms fall. Languages fade. Libraries become dust. The voices of entire civilizations become whispers beneath the earth. Knowledge is fragile. But the pursuit of knowledge is not. It survives in every person who looks deeper, every person who asks why, every person who refuses to accept that the answers are forever lost. The ancients carried the torch forward through the darkness. Now it is our turn. We stand among the remains of their dreams. We walk through the ruins of forgotten worlds. We uncover the fragments they left behind and piece them together again. Not because we seek to become them, because we are them. The same curiosity that moved their hands moves ours. The same fire that drove them to explore burns within us. Every artifact, every forgotten text, every abandoned creation, every mystery left unanswered. They are not merely relics of the past. They are invitations. So to every mind willing to search, to every soul willing to learn, to every person who believes that knowledge is worth recovering, gather what remains. Restore what was forgotten. Follow the past that disappeared beneath the sands of time. Because the story of humanity was never meant to end with what was lost. It continues with those willing to find it. Archive entry 001. Founding address of the Infinite Archive. Recorded in the year 4458 of the Second Age by founder Aster Wren, first director of the Infinite Archive. To those who recover the past, and to those who have not yet begun their first expedition, welcome. The purpose of the Infinite Archive is not to preserve certainty. Its purpose is to preserve understanding. For thousands of years, our civilization has searched for the remains of the first world. Every expedition has uncovered another fragment of a story too vast for any generation to assemble alone. Every recovered artifact, every preserved recording, every forgotten document has added another page to humanity's oldest mystery. No person living today witnessed the first world. We know it only through what survived. The earliest great age of recovery occurred approximately between years 2500 and 3500 of the Second Age. These expeditions transformed our understanding of history. Entire cities were rediscovered. Repositories of knowledge were opened. Machines, materials, journalism, engineering, records, medical archives, personal writings, photographs, audio recordings, and countless other remnants emerged from beneath the passage of time. Yet discovery alone was never enough. Evidence required interpretation. Interpretation required debate. Debate required patience. For this reason, no subject may be entered into the Infinite Archive until the discovery has remained under scholarly examination for no fewer than 400 years. Time is the greatest editor. Each century brings new excavations. Each expedition uncovers evidence capable of changing conclusions once believed complete. A single recovered document has, on many occasions, rewritten generations of accepted history. The archive exists because knowledge must earn permanence, not through popularity, not through assumption, but by enduring scrutiny across generations. It should also be understood that the years presented throughout this archive represent our best historical reconstruction. They are not absolute. The exact date of the Great Collapse remains unknown. Current scholarship places the event within approximately 1 century of what we now designate as year zero of the Second Age. Whether the collapse occurred before or after that point remains a matter of ongoing research. Likewise, many dates assigned to discoveries, expeditions, and First World events should be regarded as informed approximations rather than unquestionable facts. The First World possessed many methods of recording time. Most did not survive intact. Others survived only as fragments. Entire calendars were lost. Others conflicted with one another. Future discoveries may refine our understanding. They may also overturn it. Such is the nature of history. Another milestone worthy of remembrance occurred in the year 4297. After centuries of reconstruction, the Second Age once again achieved functional computer technology. The restoration of computational systems transformed archaeological research. Patterns hidden within millions of recovered records became visible. Languages once thought impossible to reconstruct yielded to careful analysis. Fragments separated by continents could finally be compared within moments rather than lifetimes. Yet even these machines remain servants of evidence. They do not determine truth. They assist those who seek it. Every entry preserved within the infinite archive must be submitted by a qualified field specialist. While contributors are encouraged to follow the established structure of archive reports to maintain clarity and continuity, no single format is mandatory. The evidence determines the report, not the other way around. The responsibility entrusted to every specialist is immense. We are not writing myths. We are not preserving legends. We are reconstructing the memory of an entire civilization from the fragments it left behind. Some entries celebrate extraordinary achievement. Others preserve unimaginable tragedy. Many reveal both at once. None are insignificant. A child's photograph, a bridge, a medical discovery, a failed expedition, a work of music, a natural disaster, an ordinary letter, a machine. Each has the potential to illuminate another corner of the First World. Remember always that every conclusion recorded here remains open to revision. The Infinite Archive is not a monument. It is a living record. As long as humanity continues to uncover the past, the archive will continue to grow. May those who come after us discover what we overlooked. May they challenge what we believed. And may they preserve the truth with greater wisdom than we possessed. Only then will the story of the First World continue to reveal itself, one recovered fragment at a time. For centuries, the first world existed only as fragments. A Vulcan monument rising from the earth. A forgotten road disappearing beneath the wilderness. The remains of cities whose names had vanished with time. The Second Age knew another world had existed before us. We studied their ruins. We translated their symbols. We uncovered their machines. We rebuilt pieces of their knowledge. But something was always missing. The people. The builders. The dreamers. The faces behind the forgotten world. The first world had become a civilization without faces. A story told through the things they left behind. Until the discovery beneath the ruins of Meridian. In the year 3371, historian Dr. Ilian Voss entered a buried structure hidden beneath the remains of an ancient city. The structure had no markings, no signs of importance, no indication of what waited below. The discovery team believed it was another storage chamber from a lost age. A place containing records, numbers, information. Another piece of a civilization that had disappeared. But when the sealed chamber was opened, they found something unexpected. Thousands of preserved images, carefully protected from moisture, protected from decay, protected from time itself. At first, the researchers believed they were simply historical records. Images of buildings, images of landscapes, images of places that no longer existed. But then the first image was restored, and a person appeared, a human being, looking directly into the eyes of someone thousands of years in the future. The room became silent, because for the first time since the fall of the first world, the ancestors were no longer shadows. They were real. The archive contained images from every part of their lost civilization. Cities that disappeared beneath forests, coastlines that were changed by the passing of ages, landscapes that existed only in forgotten records. But the greatest discoveries were not the places. They were the people. Families standing together. Children beside those who loved them. Workers creating the foundations of their world. Scientists searching for answers. Artists preserving moments they believed would only last a lifetime. They never knew those moments would survive them. They never knew someone would find them. They never knew their faces would become a message sent across time. Among the thousands of images were people whose names were lost forever. Unknown mothers, unknown fathers, unknown friends, unknown lives from a forgotten age. Entire cultures that disappeared except for the moments they chose to preserve. The researchers spent decades studying the archive. They discovered lost customs, forgotten traditions, the way people lived, the way they celebrated, the way they cared for one another. The first world was no longer a collection of ruins. It was a living memory. A civilization was not only measured by what it built, it was measured by the people who filled those creations with meaning. The discovery changed our understanding forever. Before the archive, the ancestors were remembered as a great civilization. After the archive, they were remembered as individuals, people who laughed, people who struggled, people who dreamed, people who looked toward the future with the same curiosity that brought us back to them. Time took their cities. Time took their names. Time took almost everything they created. But it could not erase the evidence that they were here, that they lived, that they searched, that they hoped someone would remember. The first world was never just a legend. It was humanity. And after thousands of years, humanity finally looked back.
Scientific record. Recorded in the year 4798 by Dr. Ilian Voss, historical chemist of the Second Age Recovery Institute. For centuries, humanity searched the remains of the first world for machines. We expected to find inventions. We expected to find tools. We expected to find evidence of how they shaped their world. Instead, one discovery revealed something far more fundamental. The first world had discovered the language written beneath all things. This is the record of the Book of the Elements. The discovery was made during the early knowledge recovery expeditions in the year 2386. A research team exploring the remains of a first-world educational facility uncovered a collection of preserved documents and scientific diagrams. The site contained no engines, no weapons, no advanced machinery, only information. Among the recovered materials was a strange arrangement of symbols organized into a precise pattern. Rows, columns, groups, numbers, letters. The expedition researchers were immediately fascinated. The symbols appeared too organized to be decorative, yet their meaning was impossible to determine. The first interpretation was incorrect. Many scholars believe the document was a classification system for ancient materials used in construction. Others suggested it was a trade record. Some believed it represented a form of forgotten language. Because the symbols were arranged in repeating patterns, early researchers assumed they described objects created by the first world. They did not realize they described something far older, something that existed before the first world, something that existed before humanity. The building blocks of matter itself. The breakthrough came after decades of comparison between recovered documents, preserved samples, and experimental analysis. Researchers discovered the document was not a list of inventions. It was a map of the elements that formed everything around them. The metals in the ground, the gases in the air, the materials used to build civilizations, the substances that formed the human body, the Second Age had spent generations practicing what many called alchemy, combining materials, heating substances, searching for transformations. But without understanding the hidden rules of matter, their progress was limited. The Book of the Elements changed everything. It revealed that matter was not random. The universe followed patterns. The elements were not mysterious substances with unknown properties. They were parts of a greater system. Once humanity understood this language, the impossible began to become possible. Metals could be selected for their strength. Materials could be designed instead of discovered by chance. New technologies could be created with knowledge instead of speculation. The old practices of alchemy became the foundation of modern chemistry. The ancestors had not possessed magic. They had possessed understanding. The discovery changed the direction of the Second Age forever. For the first time since the collapse, humanity was no longer only recovering objects from the First World. We were recovering the methods that created them. The Book of the Elements was not a weapon. It was not a machine. It was not a device that moved or powered anything. It was something far more valuable. A way of seeing. A reminder that every mountain, every ocean, every living creature, and every human being was built from the same ancient materials. The First World did not only discover how to shape matter, they discovered how to read it. And when the Second Age learned that language again, the world began to open.
Historical Media Recovery Report. Recorded in the year 4971 by archive historian Mira Kale of the Second Age Recovery Institute. The First World preserved more than monuments, more than machines, more than the materials from which their civilization was built. They preserved memory itself. Among the most extraordinary discoveries of the Second Age are collections of recorded journalism. Thousands of voices documenting history while it was still unfolding, not with the certainty of hindsight, but with the uncertainty of the present. This is the record of the morning the air became the weapon. The discovery occurred during the Metropolitan Archive Recovery Project in the year 2864. Beneath the collapsed foundations of an ancient population center, recovery teams uncovered a climate-controlled repository containing thousands of preserved news broadcasts. Most documented ordinary life, economic reports, weather observations, political debates, sporting competitions. Then the broadcast changed. The first reports described delays within an underground transportation network. Authorities requested patience. Medical personnel responded to what appeared to be an unexplained emergency. The language remained calm, measured, routine. Minutes later, the tone shifted. Witnesses reported passengers collapsing without visible injury. Entire stations were evacuated. Emergency responders began arriving wearing protective equipment unfamiliar to the early historians of the Second Age. broadcast spoke of an invisible substance, one that could not be seen, could not be smelled by many who encountered it, yet spread through the air itself. As additional recordings were recovered, the scope of the event became clear. This had not been an industrial accident, nor a failure of engineering. Recovered investive records confirmed that the substance had been released intentionally inside the transportation system during one of its busiest hours. The First World had given this class of substance a name: nerve agents. Compounds created to interfere with the body's own ability to control movement and breathing. The earliest scholars struggled to understand why such knowledge existed. Later discoveries provided an uncomfortable answer. The First World possessed remarkable scientific ability. Like every powerful discovery, that knowledge could preserve life or destroy it. The archive does not preserve only suffering. It also preserves courage. Medical workers entering contaminated stations before the danger was fully understood. Transportation employees guiding passengers toward safety instead of fleeing. Citizens carrying complete strangers through poisoned tunnels. Journalists continuing to document events while uncertainty surrounded them. Many names survived. Many more did not. The broadcasts continued for weeks. Investigations, recoveries, memorials, questions that could never be fully answered. Centuries later, one mystery remains beyond reconstruction: not how the attack occurred. The evidence explains that with remarkable precision. The greater mystery is why members of the same civilization would choose to inflict such suffering upon people they had never known. No recovered document has answered that question completely. Perhaps none ever could. Yet this archive preserves something greater than the attack itself. It preserved the response. The First World often measured its civilization through innovation. Its architecture, its medicine, its machines. But history preserved another measure entirely. The choices ordinary people made when confronted by extraordinary evil. The morning the air became the weapon remains one of the darkest records recovered from the First World. Not because it demonstrated the power to harm, but because it revealed in equal measure humanity's enduring capacity to help one another when every breath had become uncertain. The archive reminds us that history is never preserved only by those who create tragedy. It is preserved by those who answer it. And through their voices, the Second Age learned that even in humanity's darkest hours, compassion endured.
For centuries, the people of the Second Age believed the greatness of the First World was measured by what they achieved. Their cities, their machines, their discoveries, their ability to transform the world around them. We studied the structures they left behind. We studied the tools they created. We studied the knowledge they preserved. But some discoveries reveal something greater than achievement. Some discoveries reveal the heart of a civilization. This is the record of the creatures that had never lived. In the year 3371, Dr. Sarah Vallon entered the remains of a First World home buried beneath the ruins of an ancient settlement. The location was unlike the other sites discovered before it. There were no advanced machines, no complex systems, no records of scientific achievement. It was simply a home, a place where people had lived their ordinary lives. Beneath the remains of the structure, the excavation team discovered a sealed room. Inside were hundreds of unusual objects. They were soft, colorful, carefully shaped into the forms of creatures that had never existed. Some resembled animals from the natural world. Others appeared completely imaginary, creatures with impossible shapes, impossible colors, creatures that could have existed only in the minds of those who created them. At first, the scholars believed they had discovered something important. The first world was known for symbolism. Their creations often carried deeper meaning. The researchers believed these objects must have served a greater purpose. Perhaps they represented forgotten stories. Perhaps they were connected to ancient beliefs. Perhaps they were tools used to teach future generations. A civilization that created wonders beyond imagination would not have spent time making simple objects without reason. So they searched for answers. They studied the materials. They examined the methods used to create them. They compared them with other discoveries from the first world. But the meaning remained hidden until a different archive was opened. Inside was a recording from the first world. A simple message, a parent speaking to a child. The recording contained no great invention, no scientific breakthrough, no record of a historic event. Only a voice explaining a gift, a companion, something created to bring comfort, something to hold when the world felt frightening. That was the moment everything changed. The creatures had never lived. They were never meant to. They were not symbols of forgotten civilizations. They were not tools, they were not machines, they were friends. The ancestors had taken materials from their world and created something that served no practical purpose. Something that could not build a city. Something that could not power a machine. Something that could not increase their knowledge. They created something simply because it brought happiness to someone they loved. This discovery changed the way we understood the first world. For generations, we believed their greatness came from their ability to create. But these small objects revealed another truth. Their greatness also came from their ability to care. The first world reached toward the stars. They created machines that changed their planet. They discovered things beyond imagination. But among all their achievements, some of the most meaningful creations were the smallest. A simple companion, a silent friend, a creature that never breathed, a creature that never moved, yet somehow carried the warmth of the people who made it. In the year 4739, we continue searching through the remains of the first world. We continue recovering their knowledge. We continue rebuilding their story. But sometimes, the greatest discoveries are not found in their greatest creations. They are found in the things they made for one another. Because a civilization is not remembered only by what it builds. It is remembered by what it loves. And among the ruins of a forgotten world,
found proof that the ancestors understood something we nearly forgot. Progress gives a civilization power, but compassion gives it meaning.
Manufacturing History Report. Recorded in the year 4512 by Chief Manufacturing Historian Soren Vale of the Second Age Recovery Institute. History often celebrates the largest creations, the tallest structures, the fastest machines, the greatest discoveries. But the foundation of every civilization is rarely found in its monuments. It is found in the tools that made those monuments possible. This is the record of the teeth that bit through iron. The discovery occurred during the Western manufacturing expeditions in the year 2602. Researchers investigating the remains of a First World machine works uncovered dozens of small metallic fragments scattered across the workshop floor. The objects were insignificant in size. Most could rest upon a single fingertip. Each possessed sharp geometric edges unlike any cutting tool known to the Second Age. The expedition gave them little attention. Many believed they were broken pieces from larger machines. Others suggested they were decorative fittings. Some proposed they were fragments of damaged bearings. None of the explanations survived investigation. The fragments resisted nearly every attempt at shaping them. Steel tools dulled almost immediately. Grinding stones produced little effect. Heat that softened iron left the material unchanged. The objects appeared almost impossible to damage. Years of experimentation followed. Recovered technical records eventually revealed the truth. The fragments were carbide cutting tools, small replaceable cutting edges mounted onto larger machines. They did not build anything themselves. Instead, they shaped everything else. The ancestors had discovered that a material harder than steel could cut steel with astonishing precision. Every perfectly machined surface, every engine, every bearing, every gear, every scientific instrument, every vehicle began with these tiny cutting edges. The discovery transformed manufacturing throughout the Second Age. For generations, craftsmen believed strength alone determined the quality of a tool. The carbide inserts taught a different lesson. Precision creates strength. Accuracy creates progress. The smallest improvement repeated millions of times changes the course of civilization. Factories throughout the Second Age soon adopted the recovered designs. Machine tools became more accurate. Production became faster. Waste diminished. Machines once thought impossible could finally be constructed. The greatest surprise was philosophical rather than mechanical. The First World understood something we had forgotten. Progress is rarely built upon a single magnificent invention. It rests upon thousands of quiet improvements that few people ever notice. The carbide cutting tools were never displayed in great halls. Few citizens of the First World would have admired them. Yet without them, many of their greatest achievements could never have existed. The teeth that bit the iron taught us that history is often shaped by objects too small to earn recognition. The strongest civilizations are not supported only by grand ideas. They are supported by countless humble tools performing their task with perfect reliability. The ancestors did not overlook the smallest details because they understood. The smallest details often carry the greatest weight.
Archive recording. Recorded in the year 4812. There are discoveries that change the course of history through power, and there are discoveries that change it through simplicity. This is the record of the wheels that carried the common people. 37 years before the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, during the great discovery expeditions of the Second Age, an excavation team uncovered the remains of a First World workshop. Among broken tools and collapsed walls rested a curious machine unlike any ever recorded. It had no engine, no harness, no place for an animal. Only two wheels connected by a carefully crafted frame, a chain, several gears, two pedals, a narrow seat. The expedition believed the machine was incomplete. Surely a device so elegant must have required another source of power. They searched for missing parts. They found none. The machine had been discovered exactly as the ancestors had left it. The records of that expedition described long debates among scholars. Some believed it was ceremonial. Some believed it was a training device. Others insisted it could never have served a practical purpose. One man disagreed. Master craftsman Aldrin Kale believed the machine had been built perfectly. If it appeared impossible, then the fault was not with the machine. It was with their understanding. For 13 years he devoted himself to recreating it. He carved frames from hardwood, forged fittings from iron, shaped seats from leather. He rebuilt chains countless times. He studied every gear, every angle, every measurement. Failure became his teacher. Broken frames, twisted wheels, chains that slipped without warning. Yet every attempt brought him closer to the thinking of the ancestors. Then, 13 years after its discovery, the machine moved, not through steam, not through fire, not through the strength of an animal, through human effort alone. For the first time, an ordinary person could travel farther than ever before using only their own strength. The invention spread across the Second Age. Merchants reached distant markets. Messengers crossed kingdoms with unprecedented speed. Villages that had once seemed isolated became connected. But transportation was only the beginning. To improve the design, craftsmen were forced to master ideas they had barely understood before. Gear ratios and chain drives, mechanical advantage, rotational motion, and efficient transfer of energy. Those lessons spread from workshops into mills, from mills into factories, from factories into every corner of civilization. When the Industrial Revolution began 37 years later, historians once believed it had appeared suddenly. Today we know better. Its foundations had already been laid. They began with two wheels, a chain, a handful of gears, and one determined craftsman who refused to believe the ancestors had created the impossible. The First World built machines that crossed oceans, machines that flew through the sky, machines that reached beyond the stars. Yet one of their greatest gifts required no fuel, no engine, no beast of burden, only balance, ingenuity, and human determination. The bicycle did not simply carry people.
It carried an entire civilization toward its future. Sometimes, the smallest machines move history the farthest.
Atmospheric Disaster Recovery Report. Recorded in the year 4684 of the Second Age by environmental historian Veles Oren of the Planetary Events Reconstruction Institute. The First World spent generations studying the atmosphere. They mapped the movement of storms, tracked the formation of clouds, built instruments capable of observing the invisible forces that moved above their cities. They learned to recognize danger before it arrived. But knowledge of a storm did not always mean control over it. Some forces remained beyond prediction, beyond prevention, beyond the ability of humanity to stop them. This is the record of the day the sky descended. The discovery occurred during the Central Continent Memory Recovery Expedition in the year 3291. Recovery teams uncovered a collection of preserved weather records, emergency communications, aerial surveys, and personal recordings from a First World settlement once known as Joplin. The archive revealed the final moments before an ordinary day became a historic disaster. The records begin calmly. Forecasts, daily reports, messages between family members, the routines of thousands of people unaware that their lives were about to change. Then the atmosphere began to transform. A powerful storm system developed. Warnings were issued. The First World's instruments detected the possibility of danger. But within the storm existed a force of extraordinary intensity. A rotating column of air descended from the clouds. The ancestors called this phenomenon a tornado. The archive describes a storm unlike many others recorded by the First World. A path of destruction crossed directly through the community. Buildings designed to withstand ordinary conditions were overwhelmed. Homes became fragments. Places of gathering became fields of debris. Streets that had carried generations of travelers became unrecognizable. The records preserved the measurements, wind speeds, damage assessments, geographic paths. But the true scale of the event cannot be understood through numbers alone. The archive preserves smaller moments. A person searching through the remains of a home. A message sent moments before communication disappeared. A photograph recovered from debris and returned to a family decades later. The First World recorded destruction in measurements, but it recorded humanity in stories. The reports following the storm reveal a second transformation, not of the landscape, of the people. Emergency responders entered unstable areas. Medical workers treated the injured. Neighbors searched together through what remained. Communities from distant regions arrived to provide aid. The same civilization that had witnessed destruction created an immediate response of compassion. The Second Age has reconstructed the science of the event. We understand the atmospheric conditions that formed the storm. We understand the movement of the system. We understand why the tornado followed the path it did. But one question remains more difficult to answer.
How does a community continue after losing so much in a single moment? The recovered records provide the answer. They rebuilt, not because the loss was forgotten, not because the damage disappeared, but because human beings have always possessed an ability that cannot be measured by instruments, the ability to begin again. The first world often celebrated its greatest structures, its towers, its machines, its inventions. But this archive reveals another achievement: the creation of bonds strong enough to survive destruction. The day the sky descended remains one of the clearest records of nature's power. But it is also one of the clearest records of humanity's response. The storm removed thousands of creations. It altered a city. It changed countless lives. But it did not erase the people who remained. The first world left behind many records of what was lost. This is a record of what endured. Because civilizations are not remembered only by what they build. They are remembered by what they do when everything they build is gone.